The story begins with Junho and his longtime girlfriend Era. They've been together for 9 years, and now they're finally talking about marriage and buying a place of their own in Seoul. But reality hits hard. Apartment prices are outrageously high, so high that owning a home feels impossible. With no other options, they decide to try their luck with a housing subscription system. There's just one problem. They only have 31 points, while the minimum cutoff is 61. They're short by nearly 30 million won just for the down payment. Junho jokes bitterly that luck has never been on his side. He's never won anything in his life, so the idea of winning a housing lottery sounds like a cruel joke. Era, however, is the complete opposite. She's a numbers expert, the leader of the finance department at her company, and she manages every detail of their expenses. Junho barely spends a single coin without her knowing. Every purchase, every receipt, she tracks it all. That's when Era makes a blunt suggestion. They should get married. Not for romance, but because newlyweds receive bonus priority points in the housing system.
Juno feels awkward.
He thinks he should be the one proposing. But then he remembers something. Era was also the one who suggested they start dating years ago. Back then, she argued that the talking stage was too expensive, constant dates, gifts, and pretending to impress each other. Simply put, Era will do anything to reduce unnecessary spending. To seal the deal, she promises to buy him a PS5 if he agrees to marry her. Junho gives in. She immediately hands him the marriage paperwork and tells him to get it officially certified so they can apply. Later that day, Junho gets a message from his father asking him to come home. He says he has something important to give him. Era instantly asks if it's money. Junho tells her not to get excited. His father is completely broke. It's probably just homegrown vegetables again. Junho travels back to his rural hometown, bringing soy milk for his mother. As soon as he arrives, his father calls to him from an old storage shed, telling him to come inside. As Junho steps in, he admits something honestly. He despises his father. When Junho was 9, the IMF financial crisis destroyed their family. His father lost his job and never recovered. His mother worked exhausting, low-paid jobs just to survive. His father even stole money from Junho's childhood savings. Now that Junho is the same age his father was back then, he understands the truth. His father didn't just fail. He gave up. His father suddenly announces that he's retiring.
Juno scoffs internally.
You can't retire from a life you never built. His father asks how much cash Junho has on him. Junho already expects this and asks how much he needs. Without answering, his father pulls 10,000 won from Junho's wallet and says, "That's enough." Then he grips Junho's hand tightly and claims he's about to pass down something incredibly valuable, an inheritance protected by their family for generations. From now on, it's Junho's responsibility. Junho tries to pull away, but his father's grip becomes painfully strong. The shed begins to tremble.
Juno screams.
Suddenly, strange visions flood his mind. He sees his ancestors moving with unnatural strength, like something beyond human. Every time they act, coins spill from their clothes. Junho finally breaks free and grabs a wooden beam for balance. The coins scatter from his pocket. Then he notices something terrifying. His hand has left a deep imprint in solid wood. Before he can react, his father fires a nail gun toward him. Junho collapses, but instead of dying, coins spill out again. The nails slowly force themselves out of his skin, and his wounds close on their own. Moments later, Junho stands up, shaking, holding the nails in his hand. His skin is perfectly healed. His father calmly explains, "This is their family's secret ability. The more cash Junho carries, the stronger and tougher his body becomes. Injuries heal instantly. Strength increases beyond human limits. But there's a cost. Every time he uses the power, his money disappears, leaving behind only loose change. He must use the ability quietly to help others. He can never tell anyone the truth, and he can never use money that isn't his."
Juno explodes in anger.
He refuses. He demands his father take the power back. But it's irreversible. Before Junho leaves, his father hands him a business card for loan sharks, warning him that someday he might need it. He also adds one final warning. No matter how big the miracle, you'll only ever get coins back. Back in Seoul, Junho tells Era everything. The power, the cost, the rules. She doesn't believe a word of it. She accuses him of making excuses to avoid marriage. To prove himself, Junho hands her his wallet, keeps 10,000 won, and bends a metal pull-up bar with his bare hands. The money vanishes, replaced with loose change. Era is speechless. She gives him another bill.
He repeats it.
After several tests, Era reaches a cold conclusion. This power is useless. It's too expensive. It destroys their savings. It only works with cash. It threatens their future home and marriage. She orders him not to use it again. Junho is left alone. He checks his pocket. Only 120,000 won remains. He jumps as high as he can, staring down at the glowing city beneath him. And in that moment, he realizes something painful. He didn't inherit a superpower. He inherited poverty. From the next day on, they began obsessively saving money, while avoiding the power entirely. Era gives strict rules. No cash, no running, no lifting, no helping strangers. When an elderly woman asks Junho for help with her luggage, he hesitates and walks away. His hand begins to itch. At work, he refuses every small act of kindness. He doesn't hold doors. He doesn't help coworkers. He doesn't lift a thing. The itching only grows worse. The irritation in Junho's hands grows worse every time he ignores someone in need. By midday, the office atmosphere has shifted. People whisper behind his back, openly calling him cold and selfish. Eventually, his supervisor calls him in. There's been a civil complaint filed against him for refusing to help an elderly woman earlier that morning. His senior warns him that if this behavior continues, it could cost him his job. That night, back at their apartment, Era is buried in spreadsheets, desperately calculating how to raise 30 million won. Junho suggests trying investments or short-term trading again. She shuts him down immediately. His luck is disastrous. If he touches the market, they'll lose everything. Junho doesn't argue. He knows she's right. So he asks what their next move should be. Era tells him they need to sell anything non-essential. The dining table, the air purifier, both of his tablets. Junho protests at first, but eventually gives in. Then she casually reveals she's already sold them. He asks why none of her belongings were included. She answers bluntly, hers are higher quality and worth keeping. Junho hates how controlling she can be, but he never pushes back. As he's about to leave, she casually adds that his PS5 will be waiting when he gets home. After selling everything, Junho gathers 1 million won. He meets the seller and buys the console. The seller throws in several games for 450,000 won, explaining he no longer has time to play now that he has kids. He smiles and says he's using the money to take his children on a short trip this weekend. As Junho walks away, he notices something disturbing. Several men surround the seller and start beating him, demanding cash.
Junho freezes.
He considers stepping in, but he doesn't have enough money on him to handle all of them, and Era would never forgive him. He turns away. On the walk home, guilt eats at him. If I had enough money, he thinks, I'd give it all away to help people. When he gets home, he hands Era all the remaining cash and heads straight to the bathroom. She notices 20,000 won missing and questions him. He says he had to run, he couldn't help it. Staring at his reflection, Junho whispers, I'm a terrible person. Later that night, as he plays a video game, Era comments that they'll live a happy life together. Junho stares blankly at the screen. In the game, the main character earns money by saving people and still gets to enjoy it himself. Junho thinks bitterly that even that hero would give up if helping others meant sacrificing every last cent of his own hard-earned money. The blisters on his hands spread further. The next day, Junho meets his mother. She called him out suddenly. She notices the blisters immediately and mentions that his father used to get them too. They would appear, vanish, and return over time. Junho realizes his father likely never told her the truth. He keeps silent. Then his mother does something completely unexpected. She hands him 30 million won, a gift from a mother to her son. She tells him to get married and use the money for the house. She also mentions that she and his father are traveling to Spain. Apparently, his father suddenly decided they should spend the rest of their lives exploring the world together. She rushes off, telling him to take care. Junho is overwhelmed with joy. At last, they have the deposit. While crossing a bridge on his way home, He calls Era to share the news. But before he can speak, chaos erupts in front of him. A bus skids violently, crashes into the railing, and ends up hanging over the edge of the bridge. It's filled with passengers. One wrong move, and it will plunge into the river below.
Juno freezes.
His father's warning echoes in his mind. His promise to Era. His own conscience. Then, he makes his decision. He steps forward and lifts the bus with every ounce of strength he has, pulling it back to safety. Every passenger survives. The blisters vanish completely. But so does the money. All 30 million won, his mother's life savings, are gone. People are screaming. Phones are recording. Police sirens approach. Junho stands there with empty pockets. And now, he's in serious trouble.
The story then shifts.
A week earlier, a young woman named Rina was being chased by a group of criminals. She lures them into a narrow alley with no surveillance cameras and unleashes her fire-based abilities, overpowering them one by one. After the fight, Director Hale arrives with her armed team. The two women are longtime rivals. Rina tries to strike again, but Hale counters. Her team douses Rina with water, neutralizing her flames. It was a setup from the start. Hale coldly tells Rina that her powers are impressive, but meaningless compared to true authority. Rina is captured and locked inside a research chamber for biological experimentation. Cut to the present. Rina's associates, Mira and Kwan, are still searching for her. Kwan tells Mira to control her anger and her reckless habits. She snaps back that she is in control, even as he continues drinking. Then Mira shows him something on her phone. A viral video. It's Junho. The video spreads everywhere, Junho using his strength in full view of the public. While watching it, Kong Hyen, one of Rina's allies, notices something strange. Coins. They fall every time the man moves. Hyen's expression changes. He says he once knew someone with an ability just like that. He tells Mira they need to find this man immediately. She tries to argue, but Hyen insists. This guy isn't normal. He could end this entire conflict. Junho is arrested and placed in a holding cell with several other inmates. Everyone knows who he is, the man who stopped the bus. They crowd him, demanding he show them his power. When he refuses, the harassment begins. Before it can escalate, an officer storms in and shuts everything down. That night, Junho silently begs for help, just enough to escape this nightmare. Then he remembers the contact his father once gave him. A last resort. He calls Madame Jang Suyun, the chairwoman of Jangwon Holdings. He explains that his father told him she could help if things ever went wrong. She pauses, then calmly says she'll handle it. Moments later, she asks casually if his father is doing well. Junho is released. Outside the station, reporters swarm the entrance. He tries to slip away unnoticed, but black cars pull up just in time. People from Jangwon Holdings shield him and escort him into a luxury sedan. Inside, Madame Jang studies him. She says she saw the video and admits he handled himself impressively. Junho thanks her, relieved. Then she smiles and drops the truth. His father owes her 3 billion won. Panicking, Junho tries to open the door, but it's locked. A sharp sting hits his neck. One of her men fired a sedative. Everything goes dark. Elsewhere, Director Hale arrives at Bulma Ranch, a hidden facility dedicated to researching enhanced humans. She's already aware of Junho and of Rina. Rina's abilities have been fully extracted. Hale asks the lab assistant what would happen if she injected the substance herself. The assistant hesitates, warning her that it hasn't been tested on humans. Hale slaps her hard. She orders the serum sealed into a portable container. A subordinate informs her that Junho's power drains money rapidly and that he's nearly broke.
Hale simirks.
Then makes sure he never has a reason to use it. She announces the beginning of live human trials. Junho wakes up in an unfamiliar warehouse. Cash rains down in front of him. Men holding pipes and batons surround him. Madame Jang steps forward and calmly explains that she wants proof that he truly inherited the ability. She tells him to fight. They don't hesitate. The beating is merciless. The money slips from his pockets. His body breaks down and he collapses. Then, barely conscious, Junho crawls toward the scattered cash. The moment his fingers touch it, his wounds begin to close. The money fades away as his body heals. That's when he understands. As long as he has money, he can't die. But once it's gone, he will. Junho forces himself up, stuffing bills into his pockets. He swings wildly, sending one man crashing into a wall with a single punch. The others freeze in fear. But the strength fades. The money runs out. Junho collapses again. Madame Jang orders everyone to leave. Alone with him, she confirms it. He truly has the power. She asks where his father is. Junho says Spain. Her expression hardens. She curses his father, calling him a fraud who ran off with another woman. She says if he had married her, she could have bought him an island by now. She calculates everything calmly. His total debt is now 5 billion won. Junho says he needs to talk to his father. She laughs. Instead, she makes an offer. Marry her daughter, and the debt disappears. He'll never worry about money again. Junho can't believe his life has turned into a twisted drama. Before he answers, her subordinate shows her a photo, Junho and Era together. Madame Jang's tone sharpens. She warns him that without money, he won't survive out there. And if those people find him, he won't last long. When he asks who she means, she tells him his father never explained the full danger. She urges him to stay. But Junho notices a 50,000 won bill nearby. They're on the 3rd floor. He jumps. Junho makes it home. Era is waiting. She demands to know about the video and where the money came from. After hesitating, he tells her the truth about his mother's savings. Era says her friend is getting married at a luxury hotel this weekend. She's expected to catch the bouquet, and Junho was invited too. He suggests they go together. She refuses. She says she doesn't know if she can trust him anymore. He broke his promise and used his power. She leaves in a cab. As Junho chases after her, an explosion erupts in his apartment building. Then step out of the wreckage, director hails people. Junho remembers Madame Jang's warning. He runs. Desperate and terrified, he flees to his parents' house and hides in his father's old room. Hiding in his father's old room, Junho tries to piece everything together. Who were the people that attacked his building? Why were they after him? He repeatedly calls Era, trying to calm her down, but she never answers. While searching the room, he finds an envelope tucked inside a drawer. It's a letter from his father. His father writes that he already knows about the bus incident on the bridge. He admits he doesn't know where Junho got that much money, but he's certain of one thing: saving people didn't make him happy. He says he felt the same emptiness every time he tried to do something good for his wife and son. Sometimes, doing the right thing doesn't feel rewarding at all. The next day, at the Cheongdam Grand Hotel, a wedding ceremony is underway. Behind the scenes, director Hale makes her move. She knows Era is inside. And she knows Junho will come running. Explosions tear through the hotel. Fire spreads rapidly as parts of the building collapse. Guests scream. Many are trapped inside the burning structure. Junho wakes abruptly and checks his phone. The news alerts confirm it. The wedding venue is on fire. Era is there. He calls her again. No answer. With no cash left, Junho rushes to the bank, withdraws everything he can, and sprints toward the hotel. Using his power, he launches himself inside. The interior is falling apart. Debris rains down. A massive section of the ceiling crashes toward Era, but Junho reaches her just in time, pulling her clear. She breaks down in his arms, sobbing. She thought she was going to die. She asks him where the money came from. He dodges the truth, saying he rearranged the savings subscription. She scolds him, but there's no time to argue. The building is collapsing. Junho smashes through a wall, guiding people out. Everyone escapes safely, except the two of them. In the chaos, Junho hands Era the marriage certificate. It's signed. He tells her the new savings account will be in her name, no matter what happens. Even if they separate, the money will always be hers. He asks her to marry him. This time, she says yes. Before they can move, a new figure emerges. A man altered by stolen abilities, empowered by the energy extracted from Rina, stands before them, holding 2 gas cylinders. Junho isn't shocked anymore.
Era asks who he is. Juno answers quietly.
Someone who needs more money than I have. He still has some cash left. Junho attacks, but the man dodges effortlessly, countering with bursts of flame. Junho's money drains rapidly. He's down to 50,000 won. He throws one final punch, but the man blocks with a cylinder. The explosion sends Junho crashing across the room. Era, furious and terrified, grabs a stone and strikes the attacker, yelling for him to stop. He ignores her and advances. She strikes again. This time, he turns toward her. Era backs away in fear. Before he can reach her, Junho hurls a grand piano across the hall, slamming it into the attacker. Fire erupts, but Junho emerges from the flames holding a metal box. Era hugs him tightly and asks where the money came from. She realizes the truth. He used the wedding gift money. The last of it. Junho collapses from exhaustion and injuries. Moments later, Hyun Kong and Mira arrive. Hyun kneels beside Junho and hands him a stack of bills. He smiles faintly and says he knew his father. Used to drink with him sometimes. His father would even cover his tab. Junho weakly asks who they are. Mira answers calmly. We're from the Korean Association of Enhanced Individuals. Junho exhales, half laughing, half dreading what comes next. He thinks to himself, I'm really in trouble now. End of episode 1. We'll see you again in the next episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow the channel for more episodes.